Grandpa, what do you call this thing again?
It's a 66 Ford Bronco.
I think you got ripped off.
Why is that, honey?
It's got no Wi-Fi, no USB port, no Bluetooth.
Exactly. I guess we'll just have to talk.
Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
Is that the window button?
It's called a window crank.
Cool. The faster I move it, the faster it goes down.
This moment of escape was created by Haggerty.
Being old is kinda cool, Grandpa.
Works for me.
For people who love cars.
Welcome to Rain City Supercars. I'm Dan.
I'm Nick, and we're still apart.
Yes.
Someday you'll know the podcast will start with reunited and it feels so good, and you'll know we're all in the same zip code. So, how are things down there in Weatherville? I see it snows one day and then it's like 90 degrees.
Yeah, it snowed on, I think it was Friday, like heavily snowed. Not like a little bit. Not like, oh, there's snow. Like it dumped snow. Covered the windows, like four-wheel drive snow. And then it was immediately rained and went away, and then it was 90 2 days later. So.
Wow. Okay. You seem to find the apocalypse of weather there. It's been nothing but rain here. It's hopefully looking more and more warm. We'll see. I'm hoping it doesn't rain this weekend because we've got that Haggerty off-road event. So.
You mean the Avance off-road event? That'd be cool if Haggerty was there. But...
Oh, good Lord. I'm having a week, and it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday? Yeah, me too, man.
It's Tuesday.
Well,
yes. Well,
speaking of Avance, let's talk about our sponsors, because we are brought to you by Avance, Carter Subaru, Drivers Club, and Griot's Garage.
We're also brought to you by Haggerty, Rainier Beer, America's Automotive Trust, and Salvo Design.
Yep. Actually, Jeremy's hanging out with us down here right now.
Is he?
Yeah, he came to visit. And
nice.
So we have our designer here.
I see. Having him design you a place in McCall?
Yes, actually, I wish. I'd love it here. It's I was trying to describe it to somebody the other day. It's basically like a little mini Chelan without the wineries.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's like, actually.
It reminds me a lot of like Coeur d'Alene, but like outside of the downtown and area and things like that. But believe me, I wish I could be there. So anything else? You been out riding the monkeys?
Not a lot. I guess I'd take that back. I have been riding a little bit here and there, but we switched cabins, switched Airbnbs, and so rode it a little bit. I got my new helmet, which I'm sure I hope everybody got a kick out of my Spaceballs reference, because it's
absolutely love your helmet. Yes,
it looks awesome. I love it. But yeah, we've been really busy. I've been working a lot since I've been here. This isn't like a vacation where I'm just gone for a month, working every single day like I normally do, because that's the fun of remote working. I'm just doing it in Idaho. So
how dare they make you work for a living?
I know.
It's just blasphemy. So I've been doing my daily squats, getting ready for our monkey run. I still don't think it's going to be enough, but
no, as been riding around here and riding up the forest roads. I'm definitely wearing the padded shorts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got my bicycle shorts ready. So I just need to find some knee pads for riding.
For riding, really?
For riding, yes, for riding. So yeah. Yeah, I speaking kind of Avance, I was supposed to make it to last night or this week. Avance had an event with Ferrari of Seattle to show off the new SF90 Spider, and from what the pictures seems great. I was supposed to be there. Like I said, I got called away by a client, but incredible car. I cannot believe what a beautiful car that is. I've actually seen one of the hardtops driving around here, so people are buying them here, which is incredible to me. Such a neat car.
Cool. Yeah, I'm really sorry I missed it. I like the photos, but I'm sure we'll have one at Drivers Club, as soon as I get back.
Yeah, it'll be there. Just somebody has to take delivery. When I was looking at the coupe version, I didn't know where they were going to put the roof, and like I said, not being able to see it. But Ferrari surprises again, and it's interesting. I wonder if they're going to keep going with this. Basically, they took all the technology out of the LaFerrari and put it into this car, and I think it's still close to that $1 million point, but it's sure pretty. I'm hoping to see a lot of people out driving it and really using the heck out of the hybrid technology to save the environment.
Yeah, I saw some photos speaking of that, from a meet in Renton of all places that was in the rain.
So that was outside of Sarah's house, right on at the water there, and I think I'm not sure who put it on, but it was downpouring, and I think they got a few cars there. she actually had a chance to go over and look at it. There was a bunch of Ferraris showed up. There was a new Ford GT there. So, I mean, it was, I don't know if it's something that's going to continue to happen, but it looked like it's a really neat spot down there, actually. I spent a ton of time there, obviously, so I know it. But if you don't know, if you kind of right next to Boeing, there's I think it's a Hilton I don't know what it is, but there's a whole complex in there that they've built. And after COVID, nobody really moved in there, but it's on the water. You can, parking is free, and it's a really neat area. So
Sweet. Yeah, well, it looked nice to see the cars actually driving in the rain. I was glad it didn't stop anybody. I still think we have a couple listeners, I think, that are going to pass through while I'm down here, but I am surprised at the lack of supercars in this town because it's sort of a hub to getting anywhere, and there's obviously plenty of money here, and there's a ton of really nice off-road stuff. It could be
the fact that there's snow in the middle of June, Dan.
Right, but even then, I think the nicest thing I've seen drive through was a Z07 package Z06.
Okay.
Same as what I had, but that's it. And anybody who's driven through here, there's basically 3 different ways to get to McCall, 3 good ways, and they're all perfect for supercars. And I'm just shocked that I haven't seen a bunch run through here, or more rallies for that matter. And so, I mean, I'm not shy about McCall and blowing this secret. I have a few roads I don't share, but this one is the many ways to get here is one of the best ways one of the best weekend drives you can do. It's a full weekend, but it's one of the best drives you can do in the Pacific Northwest. So if anybody's listening, just go look at the TED drive on Dan's Drives. It's a multi-day. It's called TED. And it's one of the best rides or drives or should I say drives or rides you can possibly do. You'll just need a lot of gas and tires and brakes and a windshield.
Well, I got an interesting rally story, but I wanted to let you get to the Carter Subaru tip of the day first.
Okay, well, this is an interesting one brought to us by Jalopnik. This is just an article that somebody's reading, and somebody made a classic mistake that a lot of us have made over the years, and not shy to admit I've done this once and didn't have the same results, thank God. It was a much older vehicle. And it's what happens when you cross battery cables, not in the car, but when you're jumping a car and you attach them to another running vehicle. Well, if you're lucky, the running vehicle is fine, but usually the vehicle receiving the charge, it'll either, if you're lucky, just fry the battery, or some cases do nothing, but most of the time it'll fry the battery, and oftentimes it'll fry the control unit next to the battery. So in a newer car, you can imagine just how insanely expensive that is.
So you may know the answer to this, and I the way I've done it my whole life is the proper order. I always hook up positive and negative on the car that's running, that you're jumping, and then when I go to the car that needs to be jumped, I go negative, positive. Is that correct?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay. I mean, I haven't blown anything up this year, and it's funny because with Sarah, her car sat so long we had to jump it this weekend, and so I was sitting there looking at it going, am I doing this right? So
just a quick look. So the proper way to jump a car, this actually isn't the tip of the day. This is a good one, but I don't carry jumper cables, and there's a good reason why. But attach one red jumper cable to the positive terminal on the dead battery. Attach the other end of the same cable to the second jumper cable to the positive terminal on the live car battery. Attach one black jumper cable to the negative terminal on the working car's battery, and then back to the other car and put it on the ground.
So red, okay, black, and then the last black that goes is the dead car. Okay.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to attach it to the negative terminal on the dead car's battery unless you have no other choice. You're supposed to attach it to a ground point, which most newer cars have a ground point versus access to the negative battery terminal.
I have definitely been doing that wrong then. Good to know.
Yeah, so one of the things I was going to suggest, though, is we've talked about this before, but a jump pack basically eliminates that entirely. Now, it's super easy to carry a jump pack in your car. The brand I recommend, no paid sponsorship, is a brand called Gooloo, Gooloo. And there's tons of tests online. Of course, I started with Project Farm. They're my go-to. But there's a ton of other tests backing this one up. For whatever reason, that one works. And that's the one I have based on their recommendation. It's never failed me. It'll hold the charge. I mean, I've probably gone 6 months without using it, and it's still been full. It's USB-C equipped, and it charges, so it charges really fast. But the important part is you literally just hook it up to the battery and, to the positive and then one on the ground. And then you plug it into the jump starter, and it has overcharge protection. So you can never do that to your battery. You can never hurt the car you're jumping with it. And that's super important because it takes all the guesswork out of it. Even if you attach it directly to the battery, it still has overcharge and overvoltage protection. So it won't damage the battery that it's on, and it won't overcharge a motorcycle battery. Common problem I've seen is when people jump motorcycle batteries from a car, yes, it'll work. It'll often fry the battery, especially on like batteries as tiny as ours, like a dirt bike battery or one of our monkeys. Something. I mean, they're like, I don't even know, like.
Hey, my battery's normal size. Knock it off.
They look like about 2 cans of pop. I don't know how to describe it. They're really, really tiny, and you can fry them if you jump them that way. You can. That's why you're supposed to use a trickle charger to charge them back up. But if you did need to jump, it's actually better to like pop the clutch literally on a bike that small than it is to jump the battery from a car. So. Yeah, tip of the day, though, is it's more than one reason to carry a jump starter. We've talked about that before, but more importantly, you can't do any damage. And you can do that if you don't know what you're doing with battery jumper cables. A lot of newer cars will stop that from happening. Like they have overcharge and surge protection built in, but not all. And if they don't, the repair is very, very, very expensive. So.
Well, also those jump packs are a lot smaller than carrying jumper cables. My biggest problem, I have one for the Triumph, and my biggest problem was I let it sit in the car forever. The car didn't have issues, and then it died. And then when I needed it, so just write yourself a note on your calendar to go down and charge your jump pack like you said, every 6 months, and you'll be good.
So I've used mine to even run my laptop and everything off of it because it's a huge battery pack. It's massive. I mean, it's like, it's 2,000 amp jump. I don't remember what the capacity of it is. I'm trying to find the words. But it was enough to run my laptop all day. So
that's
and
nice.
then some, and my phone. I think it says it'll charge like a new iPhone like 10 times or something. So you can use it as a normal battery pack. But the important part is because it's USB-C, it'll charge really quick too. I think within a couple hours, mine will go from 0 to full. And most of the older style ones with micro USB will take like 2 days to charge. So it's worth it to go to the USB-C one. And some have, the wall outlet chargers, but still USB-C is faster. So anyway, Gulu one, you can find it on Amazon all day. Project
Gulu
Farm.
one.
Yeah, it's GOOLLO. They're a fantastic little product. It comes in a nice little carrying case with all the cables you would ever need to charge anything, not just a car, but it comes with USB-C, Lightning, everything. So anyway, and it's got a flashlight
nice.
too. Yeah.
Cool. No, so I was going to talk to you, or you were talking about rallies. Somehow the gold rush is happening right now, and the first real issue. Apparently, have you ever heard of 1060 Industries? They do a bunch of stuff with McLaren and things like that. Apparently, they took their lovely new 720S on there and didn't glue a lot of the parts on real well, and they all came off in the middle of I'm sure they were driving spiritedly and took out a bunch of tires on some YouTubers' cars. So that's been interesting. But for Gold Rush, that's pretty mild, and it looks like they're basically started in New York and they end up in Dallas. They're kind of going through the South. But
did they change the route due to COVID?
I don't know. Like I said, they're going like New York, Washington, D.C., like Asheville, Atlanta, Memphis, New Orleans, Houston, Dallas. Okay. So it's nice and hot, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so there's a massive heat wave right now. There's a massive drought. I have some friends in Utah, and it was almost 118 outside of Moab today, sitting in the sun, and the same in Arizona. It's 110 to 120 degrees across that area of the country, which is insane. That's a heat wave for them, like that's unprecedentedly hot. So Moab gets hot, but it's like low hundreds hot. So that was insane.
Well, I know how much you like hot, so.
Oh yeah,
how much we both thrive in hot climates. So.
Yeah, we're totally built for the heat.
We are totally built for the heat, aerodynamic and built for the heat. I'll tell you, that's what people say about us the most. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the running joke with anybody who knows this is Dan hates heat. I do not do well in heat.
I hate heat too.
Yeah,
you're just more vocal about it.
Yeah, I do not do well in high humid temperatures at all. I'm not happy.
Yeah. I don't think you're alone. I just think people hide that sometimes. So
I don't. I'll be in the AC. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Well, there's cold water and ice and things that can cool me, and I'll be less angry.
Yeah. So we're going out at 10 tonight, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, we're sleeping on the surface of the sun. So
yeah.
Did you get a chance to see that new release of that model Tesla Model S Plaid? I believe.
Did.
I'm assuming he named that after Spaceballs.
Yeah, Spaceballs gone to Plaid.
Okay. I mean,
he's done because the other one was Ludicrous Speed, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, this one was gone to Plaid. Yeah.
I'm just seeing a lot of, in my mind, like future people, like, elderly people that have driven through. You know how people accidentally drive into like the front window of a beauty shop? Like with Plaid, people are going to be driving through the building, out the next one, and through the house behind them, kind of thing.
Yep.
Like, how fast does it need to be? I never thought I'd say that, but
cool, I guess. I mean, 9 second. It's a 9 second quarter mile car now, which is insane. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
but about the time Sally down the street, who's been driving for 60 years, accidentally puts it in plaid mode because she's screwing around, and then takes off from the light, and then
Yeah, I had my mom launch my GTR. She did fine. So
yeah, that's one of the best stories you have is your mother launching your GTR. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's safety precautions, but at a certain point you go, good Lord.
I guess why not?
Just build a drag car Tesla. It's easier.
That would be cool, actually. I'm still waiting for the Roadster. I wonder with the 9-second of the Model S in plaid, I wonder what the Roadster is actually going to do. Like, I can't wait to see the real numbers. So.
Well, I mean, because we're under what 2.5 on some of the street cars, right? Porsche and Lamborghinis.
Porsche, the
right?
991, their 992 Turbo S doesn't just under or just at 2 seconds, I think, a little over 2 seconds. So
I remember when we dropped below 3, and that was huge. Like, I mean,
yeah,
technology, huh? So
and on my truck, the 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds.
Eventually, I mean, boy, there's a lot of Raptors around town all of a sudden. I was driving around yesterday, and I mean, I'm seeing a lot of them. And I don't know if it's just where I live or if people are just starting to bring them out. But a lot of Raptor builds have come out of COVID, looking like animals. So it's been pretty interesting.
Which is, I mean, nothing else to do. Used car pricing is insane right now. That was going to move on to that to be one of our next topics.
Yeah.
Is it's often smarter to buy new now, which is weird. Like we talked about it last week.
It's cheaper too, I think.
Yeah, it's cheaper to buy new when it comes if you're financing and you're not getting like low interest. Even then, it's usually cheaper to buy new at this point, which is a weird thing to say. I don't think it's ever been true before. Has that ever been true before? I mean, for some models, so. Yeah, but not for across the board, which is weird. Good time to go get your new Carter Subaru.
Yeah.
Go see our friends at Carter Subaru. But yeah, there was. I saw somebody post on Reddit the other day from a Toyota dealer. It's like, anybody want a new Toyota? How about a Tundra, gray or gray? And that was the only 2 cars they had left on the lot.
You can have any color you want as long as it's gray.
Yeah, and they had 2 Tundras across the whole dealership. So weird.
Well,
yeah.
And I mean, like we talked about last week, people, these dealerships are buying used cars for, I mean, at prices that are incredible. People are putting tens of thousands of miles on it and maybe losing $1,000.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I'm worried about the inflation a little bit, but I mean, like even used car prices. With the way used car prices are, though, it's just, I mean, a great time to sell if you have an extra car laying around. I mean, some of us do. I mean, I've been looking at all the Avance projects going together, and it's been fun to see that.
Yeah, well, the people in Avance will go out and break them, so the projects will continue.
Yeah.
Speaking of dealerships, Ford is going to start delivering the new Bronco.
I've heard that.
The good news is they only have to deliver 125,000 of them. That is how many they have ordered. So that's finally happening. So if you ordered a Bronco a couple of years ago, you'll probably see it in another couple of years.
Yep.
It is insane to me. I mean, and if you don't know the story that Ford, presented the Bronco Sport, there's tons of them around town now, but the new Bronco, they had a bunch of stuff that they couldn't get delivered just because of COVID and supply. And they never really said what it was, but I was laughing at the story, and they're like, "It's okay. We only have 125,000 orders to fill." And I'm like, "Geez." So, I mean, but and that, I'm wondering, and the sleazeball side of dealerships, these people that ordered these cars and they have a price in their mind, and the dealership's going, "Well, we have a dealer markup and a new trailer fee and a."
I'm sure some will come back to the market. That's been one of my gripes with Ford, and why I haven't typically purchased one and why I went to Arizona to get one is Ford is notorious for this. Ford dealers in particular. If you looked at the Shelby pricing when it came out, even the Shelby pricing now, I should say, but even when it came out, it was massively over. The Raptors continue to be massively overpriced. I don't know. I have a problem with ADM, but I understand it's business and the way things are done, but I don't like it, so I won't pay it. I'll just wait. I'm just going to wait for the new Bronco anyway to come out for a few years. But I don't know. I think I forget how many trucks they sell a year because the F-150 is still the best-selling vehicle in America. But I bet you 125,000 isn't as insane of a number as we think when you compare it to like F-150s.
But it's deliverables. It's the fact that you got to think. I mean, Ford probably cranks out a couple hundred a day. I mean, off the line, maybe.
I think it's more than that.
You think so?
Yeah, with this, we're going to look that up. I'm going to come back to that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because I'd be curious because, I mean, still, and and they're not offering a lot of the, specialty colors. They have all their Ford colors, but all these people that with the different packages and things like that. There's a lot. it's not like I don't think putting together a basic truck on the line, because you got the what is the Sasquatch package with all the big axles and everything. So it's going to be a little bit. I think it's going to take some time. I mean, we'll see. And now they introduce the new Ford Maverick. They're the new little truck, which I don't get, because I thought the Ranger fulfilled that position.
Well, if you look at the Ranger now, though, I mean, there's this. We've talked about this comparison, I think maybe a couple of years ago, which is funny to say. We've talked about this a couple of years ago, that mid-sized trucks now are about the same size as full-size trucks were 20 years ago. So, like, if you look at a new Ranger, it's about the same size as a 90s F-150. And so, I think this makes a lot of sense for Ford, and I think it makes a lot of sense for the market in general, because the use of a truck is, I mean, once you have a truck, you find a million ways to use it. And I don't just mean off-road. Like, that stuff's fun, but, like, if you have a four-door, really compact truck, that's awesome for around town. Because, I mean, if you look at how big my F-150 is, I mean, not just because it's a Raptor, but just the length overall, it's massive. Big four-door trucks are huge, and even the Ranger is pretty big for a truck now. So I think if you're looking for a city truck, and most people don't use their trucks to go off-road. They're not pulling stumps out anymore. I'm sure not. I'm just playing with it and, flying my ass down logging roads. So, I mean, this thing makes perfect sense for probably most people. The people that are honest with themselves, anyway.
Well, that, and I mean, starting price of $19,000. So that'll be kind. I mean, you won't. I always get the biggest kick out of that when car customers are like, "Oh, you can get one at $19,000." Like, that car does not exist.
Yeah, exactly. And the interior,
milk crates for seats. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the gauge cluster screams of kind of 90s Ford Ranger, but the center stack and the seats and everything else are actually really nice, especially for the cost. Let's put it that way.
And I'm going to be honest, it looks like a Ridgeline.
Yeah.
It looks like a miniature Honda Ridgeline. So we'll see. I mean, they're obviously, Ford's showing it on the website with everybody unloading DJ equipment and a band, and I'm thinking, yeah, right, like you'd be able to get all the stuff in that. But we'll see. I mean, it'll be an interesting concept. I want to see it in person, like to really see, because you never know, with not all pictures are accurate, Dan, on the internets.
Is that true?
who knows how tall these people are in these ads?
Catfish truck.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's true.
Well, I mean, yeah. Who knows?
Well, I mean, like the use case they're showing here, though, is like, if anybody's, pulling a small trailer, like with a couple of jet skis, or they just want a small dirt bike trailer or something like that, this thing is actually going to be really great for that. And for a lot of people, this is all they need. If you don't have a lot of space and you still need a truck for light duty work, I mean, you're just getting a four-door SUV with a giant trunk, which is not a bad thing.
I want to see how long the bed is and if it'll carry a monkey.
Yes.
That would be interesting.
I bet you. I mean, we'll have the tailgate, I'm sure. Oh, yeah, we should talk about this. I know exactly where you're going with this one, because
I want a Grom. I want a 2022 Grom. I want it with the gold wheels. I want the SE package.
Yep. Oh, I'm going to supermoto.
Why do I want a Grom, Dan? Dan, I have a monkey.
Yeah, but why not?
I know.
Don't look for excuses. Look for reasons, Nick.
Well, but I mean, speaking of that, and I'm not going to mention all this, but the dealership where we ended up, most of us, me and Sarah and all us, got monkeys and things like that. 8 bikes have gone out that door in the last 3 months.
Yeah. You're welcome.
If anybody wants to hire us to sell motorcycles, we'd be good at that.
We would. We
really would be.
Yeah,
really would be.
Yeah, it's a weird industry, like I've said. But yeah, this read my favorite headline of the year for an review.
I love this.
Yeah, this is the best headline. Jalopnik, thank you. I don't get all my sources from Jalopnik, but I actually screenshot this because I think it's one of my favorite things I've read there. If the 2022 Honda Grom doesn't make you happy, maybe you can't be happy.
I mean, and I want to bring this up. So you posted a memory on Facebook about wanting a Honda Monkey from 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
and I forgot. It came up in my Facebook memories.
Yeah. And I mean, and who knew then what it would lead to now, and so much money out the door and so much fun. And
I still have parts I'm putting on here. I have ordered just miscellaneous things to show up in Idaho. So this new Airbnb we've got has a massive 3-car garage, not just like a little 3 cars. Like, it's a full shop. Like, you could fit a boat in here. It's huge. The house isn't that big, but the shop is awesome. And so I have the trailer backed in. I've got the monkeys unloaded, and I've got a bunch of tools with me, because I'm not going to lie, I brought every tool I would possibly need to rebuild the trailer if necessary, just in case. So, by proxy, I have pretty much every tool I would need to work on the monkeys or do anything else I would need to do, because I brought a lot of tools. But hey, trailer.
Sure.
So, but yeah. It's so
Did you
fun to
watch that trailer video I sent you? It was funny because I was looking at those wheel chocks and thinking Dan needs these, and you're like, yeah, I have them. That was an interesting build.
Yes, it was super cool though. Like over the top, but now I'm like, oh, I have all these things I can do with this trailer now. My little Harbor Freight trailer is going to turn into a monkey project, I think, where it's like, I'm into the trailer for like $700 and, $3,000 later, the trailer's complete.
Could have bought a new trailer, yeah.
I still might.
Well,
I really like having one. I didn't realize how handy it would be to have a little trailer, and I'm like, this is going to be great. I've got a lawnmower to get and everything.
You could have moved all the boxes out of the house in like 2 trips with that trailer.
Yes, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. We're jumping around here all over, but when we move to the new house, I am hiring movers for the really heavy stuff. I mean, we're in our 40s. I'm not grabbing my friends to help move couches and things. I sold the couch. You're welcome. But
love that couch.
I'm just getting it. Probably the same one again, knowing me.
Yeah.
But but the boxes and everything, we stacked everything into those standard size moving boxes. So everything's super, super neat in the storage unit. And so the bird is jealous. He's not part of this conversation. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so stacking him in the trailer will make it really easy because we'll have super standard, just pack it to the top. I just got to watch the weight limit on that little tiny trailer.
Yeah, you're not going that far. It's just a couple miles. You'll be fine.
Yeah, sure. What could go wrong going up I 90 at 75 miles an hour with an overloaded Harbor Freight trailer?
Oh, God, I'd never get on the freeway in a Harbor Freight trailer. God, that'd be insane.
Yeah, because it's only 80 to get here. The speed limit's 80, by the way.
Exactly.
So that was interesting. I looking rear view mirror every 5 seconds, hoping the trailer's still there.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Well, thanks to my ADHD, this conversation started with the Honda Grom.
Sorry, listeners.
2020. But, I mean, if you don't know about the Grom, you should go research it. I mean, it's basically it's the same. It's not anymore. It's a different engine. It's a better engine, more transmission, more speeds on the transmission.
Yeah, so the new Monkey is a 5-speed as well. So this is the new iteration of the Grom Monkey. There's also the Trail 125 that came out too, which looking around here, that would be the perfect bike for McCall. If you lived in the woods out here in McCall, you want a Trail 125. Anyway.
Apparently those are really hard to get.
Yes, they are.
Like really, really hard to get. But I'm sure the Groms will be hard to get too. But I mean, to be able to get into a bike like that like 35, I think, 3,500 minus tax and license, obviously. But
freight and setup
your
and
tax
delivery
is
and destination, which another conversation.
190. It's $190. Like, not that I've been looking it up.
Yeah, so that's not what the dealers may charge you. They'll have the dock fees and everything else.
Yeah.
$5,000. A mini bike is $5,000. Let's put it that way. Maybe a little bit less from a dealer, but $5,000 is a pretty low entry point for smiles that big. Anyway,
Smiles per miles. Yeah.
Yeah, smiles to the gallon.
And I think they even squeezed a little bit more. You can put a little bit more gas into it. It's like 1.5 gallons now or something.
Yeah, it was
like
1.25 before, 1.3 before, and now it's 1.5 or something. So it's another 20 miles though, 30 miles.
Absolutely. Well, it'll be interesting to see. I want to see one first because and because they've made them so customizable now too that I'm kind of curious. Not that I didn't customize my monkey and couldn't customize something else, but so.
I should have brought this up sooner because I have another article I want to talk about, this is one of those it's about time kind of things. So speaking of shattering my windshield every time I seem to leave town, which I only got one tiny chip. You guys doing
still good?
Yeah, I only got one tiny chip so far. The Audi survived just fine with its new windshield. Nice. The truck only got one tiny chip on its way down to Boise. But Jeep, finally, so if anybody is not familiar with the windshield on a Jeep Wrangler, it's basically a flat piece of glass, and that's it. And so everything hits it all the time because of the rake of the windshield. Well, now you might be able to get that optioned, the Wrangler or the Gladiator, with Gorilla Glass, which is if you've heard that buzzword before, Gorilla Glass, that's what everybody's been hyping on cell phones for years because it's pretty... I mean, for how thin it is on a phone, it's pretty shatter resistant from dead impact. Now, anybody who's had a metal rim phone knows that they shatter anyway. But you don't have that problem in a vehicle because you're not getting a lot of side impact to your windshield. So, there's no price info on this yet, but apparently it's going to be an option on the Jeep. And I hope they do that across the board. I hope that becomes standard because, I don't think it can be that much more expensive. It'll make a great case for using OEM glass, but, I'm tired of going through windshields.
Oh, I agree. I'm wondering weight-wise if it will be equal, less, or more, because I don't necessarily know what it's made up of. But I mean, I know it works. I've had it on a lot of my phones, and they've saved me.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, like I said, it's impact resistance is where it's at with that stuff. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, if they can start doing it on windshields as standard, it seems like a no-brainer to me as long as the cost isn't astronomical. And it can't be that expensive. I don't know that for sure. I don't have any scientific data to back that up, but I mean,
I laugh because all Jeep has to do is, slant the windshield back just a little bit more, Or you just teach people to find, I think the Jeep windshields still fold down, don't they? I mean, they still have the bumpers on
they
the.
actually make it easier to fold down now. And since the JL, they've been much easier to fold down. So
I saw, and I didn't know this, and I went and researched it. There was somebody driving around at Metropolitan here with half doors. You can get half doors again.
Ooh.
For Wranglers. Yeah.
Are they a Jeep accessory or are they an aftermarket accessory?
It's a Jeep accessory.
Oh,
it's a Jeep
well, that's
accessory.
cool.
I stopped and talked to the guy, and then I went and looked it up. If you're a big Jeep person, there's a gentleman on YouTube called Way of Life, and he's great, and his videos are incredible. He does a great job, and I went and looked at his. But yeah, and they've got cloth inserts. It's basically like the inserts that go into the Triumph for the doors. It's like, and it clips in. But yeah, they're half doors. And Jeep makes you buy two of them. I don't know why that seems like a duh moment to me. Like, why would you want to buy one? But yeah, and apparently they're really light and really nice. The guy really liked them, like I said, and I was surprised. I think I scared him a little bit, but I was like, "Where did you get those?" It's like, "Do you have a Jeep?" And I'm like, "No."
I just really
but
like
I want to
those.
know about this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I would assume that if you could get them for the Wrangler, you can get them for Gladiator and things like that. I don't think the doors are that much different.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're the same in the front. I don't know if they are in the rear, but I think they're the same in the front. Huh.
Yeah. So, and then I was cruising around the internet, and I'll be interested to see this because Maserati's going to be bringing back the Gran Turismo, and they get the prototype, and it looks a lot like the old one. I mean, even in camo,
which is not a bad thing. That was a gorgeous car. Yeah.
But it was underpowered, and it still is. It's just underpowered. I mean, it was a comfortable interior, but even with that V8, they tuned it. They down-tuned it. So I'll be interested to see if something comes out of it. I'd like to see them, I know a lot of car companies these days are, they're going hybrid and they're taking a lot of the cylinders out of cars, but I'd still like to see some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The Gran Turismo was so long in the tooth for an overhaul anyway, so.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Well, I want to see I forgot the name of it now, the new two-door rear engine MC20. Is that the MC20? Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It's successor to the 12, but yeah.
Yeah. Which says a lot. I mean, I think that's a downgrade from the 12, but I'll be considering the 12 was an Enzo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Better looking Enzo.
Yeah,
that's
100%. And you can take the roof off. So.
Oh, okay. So I did. We're going to backtrack a little bit because I did find some quick research. Now that it just popped up. Actually, it literally just popped up on my screen. Thanks for listening to me, spy device. Little news thing popped up. That's hilarious.
I like our robot overlords.
Yes, I for one welcome our new robot overlords.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gorilla Glass. I just clicked on it. Here we go. So the Jeep option. It's only a $95 option, making it pretty much a no-brainer, and it should be standard at that point. The outer ply of Gorilla Glass is 52% thicker through the overall panel, even though the overall panel is lighter and thinner. So it's basically really thick, really hard outer glass, touting 3 times better impact resistance compared to normal glass. That's a significant amount for $95.
So is it an option right now, like something you can check while you're?
It's a $95 option on the 2021 JL apparently.
Good God, it's like a $35 option to put it on your phone. So it means Verizon's been ripping me off all these years. Jeez.
That's the screen protector.
That's the same thing. No.
Yeah, so you can get a Gorilla Glass protector on top of your Gorilla Glass if you have an iPhone for like $50.
That's a lot of Gorilla protection.
Which is funny because the screen protector for your phone is $50. The windshield for the Jeep is a $95 option.
That's my point. Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Like I said, I think I've been upsold the phone store.
Yeah,
that's not what that costs. It's not what it cost on my Jeep. Jeez,
that is a funny comparison. I mean,
yeah,
that'd be a fun breakdown. I would love to see the breakdown analysis of what is the highest profit margin in a vehicle that's so mass produced, like an F-150 or a Jeep. Like, what are the biggest margin options? That's got to be out there somewhere. We'll look that up for you guys. That'd be a fun thing to talk about.
Well, and I would assume as production goes, like when you're producing Gorilla Glass, it's got to be easier to produce big sheets of it than chop it down into small stuff for phones. So maybe that's where some of the cost savings comes from.
Yeah, it also probably is ultra small, ultra clear. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't produce glass. Somebody tell me.
I don't either. We won't be getting into the glass production. Yeah.
Rain City Windshield today. That would kind of make sense for a business name.
Don't get me started. I'm still hunting after Rain City monkeys. So yeah.
That is coming up. I can't believe that is. What are we at? Are we at a month yet? No, we're a month and 7 days away.
Yeah, almost a month and a week. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. When we first started this was a great idea, and I'm thinking about it now, and I think my heart is beating faster. So, and not out of in pure anticipation. I'm excited to do it, but like every person I say, I talk to about that goes, "Are you insane?" Like, yeah, but what's the point? So
yeah, and well, that's the thing. Is like I don't know. We've talked about it a lot. The parts of me that I'm worried about getting sore from this are my wrists due to the lack of front suspension. Just no matter what you do to it, Öhlins or whatever, you just don't have a lot of travel. And the road is not a trail, so there's that. But it is going to take some toll on my wrists, and actually, honestly, just my butt, because the Monkey is not a bike that is designed to be stood up and ride. So a dirt bike, it's really tall for a reason. You hug it with your knees, and you have all that body of the bike, and the frame is designed to have you wrap it with your legs and move it with your core. The Monkey's not like that. When I stand up on the Monkey, my knees are like almost a little higher than the tank.
And you're bent over no matter what bars you have on that bike.
Right. And so I'm actually switching to an ATV high bend bar. It's got enough cable length. I had to do like 100 measurements to verify that. And that was because I was concerned. I'm like, am I going to have enough throttle cable if I raise the bars even a little bit? Luckily, I will. But yeah, that's going to be the physical extremity of it. My commitment, I'm going to talk to Brandon Menpal about this because we're going to do a brainstorming session.
Who are you going to talk to?
Brandon Menpal. If our listeners haven't heard that name.
We should talk to him. Brandon Menpal. I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
agreed. Yep.
About doing a nightly, like a live blog update from this vlog as we go along, as we're covered in dirt.
Session, but I was down with that too.
Yes. Well, we are staying at hotels, and this might be one of the. People who don't know me know this. I don't have a weird thing about. I don't like being touched like by a masseuse. I like my head massage during I'm getting a haircut, and that's about it. But I don't like massages in general. I will probably go for one on this trip so I can survive it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all will. It's group rate.
Yeah. No kidding.
Tell you.
So
it's well, I mean, at the end of the day, like I told people, we're on Washington. If something happens or we're over it, we're still in Washington. So
yeah, like I mean, yeah, that's why we've got a lot of people who have wanted to come along. I'm like, I don't know if we're actually going to make it, but we're going to try.
Yeah. Let's see if we make it first, then we'll invite you. Yeah. Let's see if we can keep us alive, and then we'll invite you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some rumor that one of the people on the rally is going to sell his bike afterwards. So
I heard that. What a jerk.
Well, I mean, I'm going to beat him senseless with a wet noodle, so it's fine. I mean, and he has a good reason, like, oh, I got a kid and he can't drive it.
Lame. The funny part is if he parts it out, he probably won't lose a dime. Not even a dime on that thing. There's such high demand right now.
Yeah, I had somebody offer me $8,000 for mine yesterday or 2 days ago. And I was like, nope, sentimental value. So yeah, I mean, and I think part of that is you can't get them. So that's the fun stuff.
I've been looking a lot actually. So I've been looking for a yellow one. And it's one of the things that, like, if one popped up locally, I would probably just go get it and figure it out. Like, okay, because that would complete the collection. I really want a yellow one. That's what I've always wanted, but I couldn't find one, and I still can't. So anyway,
but not one of the new ones. I want
a 19 to 21 yellow, the true yellow.
Yeah.
So
they'll start. It's funny because I'm looking at some of the mileage on some of these people. People are buying them, but they're not necessarily riding them that much. Like it's finding the time, which I get. It's like you have to go make the money to pay them for them, but
well, it's not even that. It's a short trip bike. That's what it was designed for. It's a run around short trip bike. Most of the trips I do on the Monkey are 15 miles. I mean, that's most of it really. And I do, if you do 115-mile trips, you're still only 1,500 miles in. So
true. That's true. That's true. Well, I've got what 700 miles on mine now, I think. So.
Yeah, I think I've got 400 on one, but I've been riding it a lot more here because this is such a perfect space for small bikes and small trips. So you can just go everywhere.
Yeah.
So
looks good parked outside the local Albertsons next to the side by sides.
I keep telling you, every time I ride it, somebody asks me about it. Every time.
Oh yeah, I mean, Honda should pay me for the amount of information I put out about those. So
yeah, Honda, you should pay us.
Yeah, Honda, we're the cool kids.
Honda motorcycles. We got Subarus. Honda motorcycles.
Right? Yeah. I was trying to figure out if I could put a trailer hitch on the on the cross trek and then get one of those flatbeds like Brandon's got to put the monkey on. But I'm not sure it would work.
There's got to be a way we can do that. Like, you're not the first
there's a
person
way to
cross-track.
do it. I just don't know if it would be like it's going to make the rear end, even with the light weight of the monkey, it's going to make the rear end really droop. So
No,
I don't know.
It won't.
So, well, I mean, you and I, we'll see. I mean, also maybe it'll fit in the new back bed of a Maverick or whatever it is. Yeah. So
I really like that truck.
It's tempting. It's really tempting. I mean, but it's funny because after our last interview, what was it, like 2 or 3 weeks ago with Octuning, I mean, with Zach, I mean, I would have a GTI too.
Oh yeah, they're fun.
I never realized how much that would be kind of a fun car to have.
Hot hatches rock. They're tons of fun.
Yeah, I know. But I'll just convince somebody else to buy a Jeep. So. Yeah.
I still think you should just get a small truck. That's really what you need. And I
know.
Go
but
for
the problem
Ranger.
is small trucks are expensive now. They used to be affordable.
Yeah, that's true. I think the Ranger would be a really useful vehicle. Just saying.
Well, yeah, Ranger or the Colorado. But I mean, I saw a Ranger that somebody has spec'd out, and it was done really well. And it was actually, ironically, it wasn't an Avance person, which is weird to me. But it looked really good.
We're getting them at the Avance off-road events, though.
Oh yeah. No, I know. I mean, those are. But I mean, somebody had they had a headache rack, not a headache rack, but a rack like yours, and it had seen something, and I don't think it had Washington plates on it. So, maybe passing through.
We should do a small truck shootout. That'd be a fun one.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, speaking of
Somebody
Avance,
should just give us trucks. Yeah.
Yeah, and off-road. You're going this weekend, the 19th?
I will be there at the Avance off-road event. I think please come see me because I realized after Dan left that I don't think I have the table or the chairs, so I'll be standing. So please drive by and let me sit in your car.
You can go buy another table.
I know
we need another one anyway. Just go to Costco.
Well, I understand that, but I also have the conundrum where my car barely fits the canopy in it with just the canopy, let alone putting a table in it. So we'll see. I know we need another table, so I just realized that today.
Since you're already bringing a canopy, you want to bring another canopy?
No, I'm not going to make him do. He's nicely storing it for us. I don't know what I would have done with it if he hadn't saved us for that. So Brandon Bin Powell, in case you want to know, he's our savior, Brandon Bin Powell. So, yeah.
All right, so that's the 19th. You can go see Nick there because I won't be there. Sorry.
Okay.
There's some exciting stuff coming up. There's another track day at Pacific Raceway. It's the lapping day. That's the 24th, 8 to 4. Another dyno day at Carb Connection, the 26th. Man, the calendar is packed. The other event on the 26th really is what I want to talk about, though. Did you see this?
The
off-road event?
Drive?
No, the off-road event on the 26th.
To Moses?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing it now. So, yeah.
So I tell everybody, Moses is training wheels dunes. It's not really dunes. It's kind of like volcanic ash, and it kind of sucks. But if you're just starting out, it's pretty great. So Oregon dunes, there are some awesome dunes around here that are not Moses. But it's a great way to get started. So if you've never done the dunes, you will quickly realize why everybody builds everything for the dunes and keeps doing it. It's so much fun in the right vehicle. Not the Monkey, probably not the Subaru, but the Raptor. Or if you've got a side-by-side, that's where you want to be. So.
Yeah, I had not seen that, and I was looking at the calendar earlier today, so that must be something that newer they added, or I just missed it.
Yeah, he just added it. He's got some required stuff out there. Safety flag is one of the things people often forget about. The easiest way to do that is a hitch mount. You can just write on the trailer hitch. You can add a big giant flag. You can get them on Amazon or wherever. Then, let's see, $45 for vehicles, limiting to 20 vehicles, and they're camping overnight. So that would be a fun thing just to go do and hang out if you're not an Avance member. They'll keep you busy off-road.
I have some great memories of being a younger individual in the dunes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I remember them. I don't know. But it's fun out there, but be prepared. I think it's good that everybody's going in a group, and which will be good because there are some spots that get really deep in sand. But look, they even have a Raptor going through the sand. Look at that, Dan.
That's what we're built for.
Oh, nice.
Then I need to get my hands on one of these. I'm sure Adam will help us out. But Avance Denver magazine launch and open house is the 26th. Though our Colorado listeners, and we love Colorado. I wish I was there. We almost tried to go there instead, just a little too far away. But that's that's a thriving community that's growing really rapidly. They have their own magazine now, and they have some of the best driving roads in the country. So if our Avance members, our Avance listeners, or anybody who needs to join Avance still, you should go check that out and take some drives over to Colorado. I'm sure those listeners over there can tell you some great places to go. It's one of my favorite places to drive, and you should definitely go check it out.
Yeah, if Adam's not careful, this is going to take off and be successul.
I know, he's only in 3 states so far.
I tell you, well, I mean, this Portland County just crossed the border. No.
Yeah, he should hire some help.
I agree. He needs some help, but that's more psychological. So he knows what. So he hired Brandon Ben Powell, remember? Because Brandon Ben Powell runs the off-road events. So
I don't know when Brandon sleeps because I know he's very busy with work. I know what he does for work, and I don't know when he sleeps between search and rescue, Avance Off-Road, everything else he does, and his other job. Just lives off
and
straight
he's out
caffeine.
making friends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in my elevator yesterday, and a guy looks at me and goes, "Are you Nick?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, I know your buddy Brandon Ben Powell." He's like, "We're going for a ride." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going on that ride, and nice to meet you." Everybody knows the man. He covers the plateau very well. Everybody, I think he's just he's out there rescuing everybody. So.
Yeah. If only our listeners would remember his name.
Who Brandon Ben Powell? That's hard. Yeah. We need to say it a few hundred more times, and then he just won't be able to get up in the morning. So
that's a good idea.
Yep. Nice.
All right, man. Well, we miss you down here. I wish you were coming to hang out.
I wish I was too. I'm still trying to work on it. Like I said, we had a little boo-boo up here, but we're working on. But getting better by the day. I can't wait to get you guys back up here. You know, it's just it's so weird to drive down to the lake and then like I walk out on the dock and somebody's screaming at me now, but it's not the good screams like you used to say to me. So yeah, like
it's not the excited to see you screams.
This guy, it's okay. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, it was great to talk to you as always. And for this episode of Rain City Supercars, I'm Nick.
I'm Dan, and don't just get there. Enjoy the drive.
We spend an average of 8 hours and 41 minutes a day facing screens. Laptops, smartphones, tablets, even digital refrigerators. But what are we really connected to? Isn't it time you connected to something greater? Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect. This moment of escape was created by Haggerty. For people who love cars.